my topic this grand moment is resistance is assistance. Now, you know, somewhere in the Bible it says resist not evil. Well, you have to understand the full story. It doesn't mean you participate in what you don't want, but this whole fighting mentality called duality. It's the battle of Armageddon that's going on in the mind all the time. And it's that fight that goes on, my religion against yours, my God against yours, my team against yours, with a fight against drugs, the fight against disease, the fight against the opponent, the fight against and so games are what really pretty much take people's consciousness because they're so much in the mind. It's that basically people have a toy. It's called the false mind. And they're playing with the toy. They're talking to it all the time. It's actually, if you really listen, you're not thinking most of the time. Your mind is talking. Where's it coming from? And it could go on and on. You can take one little thing, can happen, and all of a sudden it just takes you on this long thing. You don't understand how it is, and you're worried about the future. I'll do this, I'll protect myself. This is like you're a slave, and it is a slave to the mind and the senses, and this not divine mind, or what you call your true, which you might call mind, but it isn't. Is your true beingness is a wisdom beingness. You know everything, because our self, yourself and myself, the same, we call our divine, where we're already unified, and we're all different. It's wonderful, different cultures, different ways of perceiving things, different. Come on, it's not about the technology. It's not about, and we're all programmed. You got to do this for a job, because if you don't have any job, you starve to death because then you don't want to starve to death, or you disappear. On and on and on. All of these things that are going on in the mind, and so we're fighting against what we really feel and what we've been taught to think, and is thinking through us, or what other people are thinking, and other people are thinking the same fear-based thoughts. And I found everybody that actually, when you look at what's your biggest issue, not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough. Where'd that come from? Good enough for what? Good enough for whom? You have to know first who you are and what you're made from. And this resistance is assistance, because you keep the game going when you got two sides, at least. You can have 5 sides, you can have 7 sides, you can have all the geometrics you want, but all of this is building what you would say a mechanical, technical world, animation. We get all excited about the next level of animation we can watch, really, and you're sitting, I couldn't even go to a movie. And every time I would go to a movie, sitting there with a bunch of people, I don't know, rancid popcorn, all these people with their consciousness and this blaring stuff coming at me like I'm going to be entertained. No, trained within. And I have to get up and leave. I have to go sit in my car until I think I'm going to be sick. Because the vibe is so yucky. Whenever I go, the loudness, everything bombarding. And this fighting them is always this constant battle between, remember they used to say a good angel, a bad angel, go beyond angels. These are angels, whatever this is. All of this stuff outside is going to help you. My spirit guides help me, my guides help me. The outer gods are going to help me. Somebody's going to come and help me. Help yourself. And what that means is you got to know yourself and your powers and abilities and stop the battle. And this battle of Armageddon is you give up the battle by being who you are. And when you say persist not evil, in the sense, doesn't mean I go along with it. Doesn't mean it's in my reality. It doesn't mean that's where I am. And it's like each of us is in our own bubble, you might say, of our own consciousness world. And our bubbles can kind of merge when they have the same vibration, in a sense. They have something that's, so we come together. And yet those who have a different vibration, we don't want to be around, we don't like, we don't feel good, because their bubble doesn't merge, in a sense, with our bubble. So when we're in that predominant state of being who we are and honoring our heart, who do you trust? Your mind or yourself? See, if you think, oh, and the same, no. The mind isn't yourself. Thoughts aren't you. You have a mind, you're not a mind. But for most people, the mind has them. So who is it that's controlling your mind? And if they're controlling your mind, they're controlling your life if you believe it. So you got to take the place of the witness. This is called the bliss zone. My book, Live Your Bliss. Also, what you think of me is none of my business. It's a powerful teaching. And it's even stronger because where are people coming from when they're judging you is their minds. And what is agitating us always is the mind. And so if you don't know how you're functioning and what's controlling you and what's making your choices for you, it's like we're lobsters going, help me, help me, help me. Help yourself. And so, well, that's selfish. Well, I'm not a shellfish. It means that I have my priorities. I have to honor or be myself, because what else do I have? There isn't anything else that you have other than being who you are, and your divine partner, who is also my divine partner, and loves us all and is with us all, and yet each one of us is an individual, and therefore each one of us is either battling ourselves and fighting all these, fight with me and we'll fight with me. Fight what? The greatest terrorist weapon is your mind, thoughts, beliefs. You know, I'm so glad that I didn't pay attention in school. I was too busy talking, looking at the boys, of course, sports, music. It was great. And I always knew how to get what I needed and wanted. And it was like, somehow I could tell how much nonsense there was. So boring. So I just would learn to crack jokes. I realized I was working on my career talking in class. And it was like, really think about the freedom some of you have had as children. And yet we're always free right now. We're never not free, in a sense, to choose. You can't have two masters. And when you can't good and evil battle. Of course there's evil and there's absolute good. And what is evil? Living backwards. Believing your thoughts. Believing your mind. Fighting yourself. Fighting others. Trying to be right. Don't be wrong. Fit in. Don't be alone. On and on. Where do you think your power is? If you don't build your power now, how are you going to have power when you leave your body and know where to go? Don't go to the light of the tunnel. That's a trap. Unbelievable. And yet just the crowds will just go where they're told, like one blob. It's a school. You ever watch a school of fish? They all go together. And then here's another school. And here's another school. It's got little boxes. You see, no, come on. When you're resisting, you're fighting it, it's persisting because you're making it happen. You have to go beyond all this to the source. The source point is you and your beloved. Yeah. Let's get it. We're already unified. I wish you well. I work for your welfare and well-being. I'm happy for all of this. We've got to come back to ourselves. And when I left the ministry in San Diego in 85, I guess, it was complete. It was time to go. And because I wasn't happy. And I thought there's something missing from this teaching. And I don't want people to turn out like me. And so I thought, I got to keep looking. And I started to look at when was I really, really blissful. It was when I was barefooted in nature. Lying on my back, looking at the clouds, being in the tall grasses, bending down into the little stream and drinking the fresh water. I grew up in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Yes. And then at the ocean and the beach and the nature. And with my babies and teaching. But really, nature. And your nature is part of all, the source of all, of everything, of all that is, or ever will be. And you have all those powers and abilities now. You're not evolving. You don't have to get any better in anything out there. Yes, you can improve your skills and all these things, but stop fighting. Go somewhere else. Change your consciousness. And when you have the consciousness of your own true self, and consciousness meaning what you know and what you do, are in harmony with yourself, all, nature, and beyond, as from the source of nature, that's where you want to be. Centered, in the power center and power source of right where you are. Stop the fight. Stop fighting yourself in a battle. Honor yourself. How will you ever know if you don't just know? You're already whole, complete, and full at the level of self. Be yourself.